Hi everyone, welcome back to lesson 5 of our energy topic. Today's lesson is called Wind Energy Decision Making Activity. So we are going to be assessing the challenges and opportunities linked to renewable and non-renewable energy sources. So we've got some key words that we need to understand for this lesson. The first word is wind turbine. Now that's these things you see in the picture here, those big windmills that generate wind energy into electricity. So the wind turns these turbines round and that movement moves a generator, and the generator then converts kinetic energy, movement energy, into the electricity we need for our homes. The next word is wind farm. Now all that is a collection of wind turbines in an area. So this picture here shows a wind farm, as there's quite a few turbines. These forms of energy are infinite. That means they're limitless or endless. The wind doesn't stop, we don't run out of wind, therefore it will happen forever, go on for a long time. The next word we've got is this abbreviation called NIMBY, and this is an abbreviation for not in my backyard. Now it's people that are really against something happening in an area near them. So it could be a person living in this village originally did not want those wind turbines so close to their house, and they'll have lots of reasons for that. So we call that NIMBY, not in my backyard. Okay, write those down, guys. One thing to remember, work's due in on the 21st of May by 12 o'clock by Teams or email your teacher. All right, so let's do our quiz. You know what to do. Here are the questions. The term which refers to being relatively self-sufficient in energy is what? The term for when we use less energy to perform the same task is what? Energy consumption or energy efficiency. A lack of energy infrastructure and resource is known as what? Energy security or energy poverty. An advantage of a non-renewable is what? An example of a renewable energy is what? An advantage of a renewable is what? All right then, so get your green pens out and let's go over the answers. All right, pause the video, do some changes, or give yourself a tick. Okay, so let's look at this picture here. This picture is a photograph of a village in France. So it's the same picture we looked at the beginning, and it's of a wind farm where they've got multiple wind turbines in an area right next to this town here or village. What I want you to do is suggest why locals might have been against the construction of the wind farm and the solar panels here. You can see the blue there, they're solar panels. So why would some locals be against this being built? Give yourself about 5 minutes. Okay, so let's see what you could have got. So get your green pens out and let's go over it. Now remember, this is the term, this is to do with the term we looked at the start of the lesson, that NIMBY, not in my backyard. And this is where some people would be against this sort of thing being built so close to their house. So let's have a look at some of the reasons. So locals might believe that it spoils the view. It's quite a rural image there, quite a rural location, so it's in the countryside. So people moving there might actually want to see open spaces that without anything obstructing the view. And we call this visual pollution. The wind turbines are noisy. They make quite a lot of swishing noises as they go around, and this is called sound pollution. So again, people might want to live in a quiet village without any disruption. Also, they are unreliable. The wind doesn't blow all the time, every day, constantly. You do have days where there is no wind. So the amount of energy that is being produced is unreliable. You don't get the same amount every day. There will be a lot of disruption to the village while they're being built. If you think about the size of these constructions, they're actually really big. And in order for them to be built, you need them to be transported by special trucks. They're actually really, really big. And they will have to come into that village and then cause a lot of disruption trying to build them. And also they might disrupt local wildlife. Now they have been known to decapitate poor birds as they've been flying through the sky as the turbines go round. So it can actually kill bird life and also disrupt any animals that are living in the areas where they are being put up. Okay, let's have a look at this then. Here I want you to have a look at these 9 statements about wind farms. For each one, I want you to write down an advantage or a disadvantage. So all you have to do is write 1 to 9 in your books or on your page. So you just have to write 1 to 9 like that down the side, and you don't have to write out the whole statement. You don't have to write it out. All I want you to do is write whether the statement is an advantage or a disadvantage of a wind farm. So is it saying that wind farms are a good thing or are they a bad thing? And I want you to tell me why using a chain of reason. And I've got an example here so you can have a read. So I've linked this one to number 1 up here. It says statement 1 is an advantage. The turbine can harvest the wind for free and will quickly make up the money used to build the turbine by then providing sustainable green energy for many people. So I want you to write that sort of response for each of the 9. It will take you quite a while, but I want you to think about it really carefully and work on your chain of reason. Okay, so really tell me why it is an advantage, give me a point, explain that. And then you can do the challenge, and it says here, do you think the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? So are the good points about wind farms better than the bad points? And explain what you mean. So I'd give you about 10 to 15 minutes to do this, guys. So pause the video. Okay, so here is a bit of information that I want you to read about the UK and its energy gap. So what I want you to do is read these 2 paragraphs and then answer the 3 questions down here. So I'm not going to give you any more instruction, guys, so pause the video and give yourselves about 10 minutes. Okay, so how did you get on with that? Let's have a look. So get your green pens out and let's see how well you did. So there are the answers. In the next 10 years, the UK could be suffering from electricity blackouts because there may not be enough energy created. Within a decade, the UK could generate 80% of the energy it needs. And by 2050, the UK aims to create 40% of its energy from renewable sources. And that's what you should have got from the text. All right, so here we go. Is there a future in wind energy? So here you've got 2 figures. You've got figure 2 and you've got figure 3. Figure 2 is an onshore wind farm in the UK, and figure 3 is an offshore wind farm. And you can see what that means. So onshore means these turbines are actually on land, and offshore means they're out at sea. Now they each have positives and negatives about their locations. Both onshore and offshore wind energy has increased in recent years around the UK. However, gaining planning permission is not easy due to NIMBYism and environmental concerns. So people either living near the coasts they don't want to see these wind farms near their house. That's my really bad drawing of a house there. But you can imagine if they're looking out to sea and all they see are these wind farms in the natural environment. And also for people living on land, again, out in the nice countryside, if they're living there and all they see are these big wind turbines out on the land. Not everybody will like them. Not everybody will think that what they do and producing green energy is better than ruining their environment. Okay, so even though they've got some really good advantages that you saw a minute ago, lots of people still don't like them. So what we're going to do now is you've got 3 tasks to do. Okay, so you're going to use the notes that you got from your lesson today to help you answer these questions. The first question is, renewable energy has no disadvantages. I want you to give me 3 reasons why someone might disagree. So just tell me 3 things with a chain of reason why people would disagree with this, that wind farms have no disadvantages, everything about them is great. What could be the disagreement with that? Number 2, explain what this word is, or this abbreviation. We've looked at it a few times and it's right at the beginning in our keywords. Can you use an example? And then number 3, copy and complete the following table about the 2 types of wind farms. So can you think of an advantage of having it onshore? So those wind farms that are on the land, and offshore, so out at sea. What are some good things about that? And also then think about the disadvantages. Okay, so that's where you really got to think about NIMBY and environmental concerns. Right, well done guys.